Hello and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Hobet Velez, and with me, still most human to humanity world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Obed, we made
Ooh,
it.
tongue twister there, man. Oh, what the heck? It's like my
I know
brain.
you
My
were just
brain's been
rolling.
shutting off, dude. It's like my second language is like not loading properly today.
Well, we do know that a large population of you that are watching are Hispanic or Latino and Spanish speaking audience. So I think
Yeah,
if Obed switched every now and then, it'd be okay. I may
man.
not be able to follow as much, but
We could do a
that's
no
okay.
load time in Espanol. That would be a pretty good
Right?
idea. Actually, get
That'd be
some
pretty
good
cool.
hits from the good old Latin.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. How's it going?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good. I don't have too much of an update here, but I did get to see one movie that I figured I might as well for sure save it for the show. I was debating doing a separate video for it, because I want us to keep having reviews on the channel and those do good. But I went and actually got to see F1 this last weekend.
Okay. Who's
And
in that? Brad
you
Pitt
know,
and who else?
yeah, Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, and just there's a few others involved in the project for sure. But it's I gotta say, like, same director from Top Gun Maverick. I'm not sure if the writers are the same or how exactly how that goes. I know Pitt was a producer on it. I know Lewis Hamilton was a producer on it, and others. But I gotta say, like, for someone who's not an F1 racing guy that keeps up with those races, that's not something I'm crazy about. It did a really good job of getting me interested in the actual racing sport. Like, I could actually see myself, like, if it beforehand I've been like, oh, it could be fun to go to one of those things, but like I actually could see myself being more engaged just based upon
Fun's fun.
the way it's portrayed in the movie. And like
Yeah.
that shows you that they did their job, really well of making an F1 movie. Of course, it's Hollywoodized and you got your storyline around it. And to be quite honest, that the story is quite parallel to what you did get in, like, Top Gun Maverick, the old and the young, and kind of having generations work together for a similar goal. And just like how Top Gun Maverick, I think, was refreshing for theaters because it was like something that was like not like it's a real world thing. Like, war and those things are like very serious stuff, but like it
Right.
found a way to like not be like political and like be just like a theater escapism from the real world. I think it's like the same thing you kind of get with this movie, where it's like it doesn't matter who you are or whatever. Like, you're just watching these guys racing, and a story around that. And so, like, I think that's why these movies will succeed in that way. I thought it was incredibly done. Not the perfect movie by any stretch, but I really thought, for a summer flick, it has a very strong possibility. I'm looking forward to my, Fantastic Four, and I'm looking forward to Superman. I'm actually this upcoming weekend going to be watching Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, the new one, Rebirth. I'll be watching, um, and all those movies are fun and cool. But I gotta say, like, this one has a very strong potential to be like the summer film in essence. And I'm not talking about that
Sleeper hit or
blockbuster
something
wise.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, I'm not talking about like financially wise or
Right.
anything like that. I just mean like in the sense of like the quality of film. Because they clearly went for a quality product when they made this film. The
Cool.
soundtrack absolutely incredible. The acting absolutely incredible. There's they don't they use a lot of practicality, and obviously the way they're doing a similar to Top Gun, where like you have the actual POVs from the race cars, and the way it was, you go looking up behind the scenes of how they even put it together. They took a lot of Formula 2 cars and made them look like Formula 1 vehicles, and creative ways around that, and filmed during act sequences during actual real races, and like there's so much cool stuff behind with that of how they actually got to the racing part that I think is absolutely incredible.
Cool.
um and then, like, like, all in all, I just think that movies like this, like, that I think movies like this is what, like, theaters need right now. Like, they need to have you need to have your large intellectual property. And this is not a small independent film. This is by no means. It's not. I'm
Right.
not saying that,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, flavor wise, like, this isn't like, okay, we need to go and, like, have a big fight action sequence or anything like that. Like, it's just like a narrative, dramatic storytelling that I think people need more of these kind of films at the box office. Like, every race, Obed, has its own story behind it. Like, it's like not just like, oh, they're just going for another race and this guy needs to just win the race. Like, there's
Right.
other things that they do that they find a way to make each race in the film have its own story. So yeah, a lot of things I could say about how much I did like it. I think it was quite enjoyable.
That's cool.
Again, not perfect film by any means or anything like that. It's got its own issues, but overall, definitely was a hit and something I could see a lot of people going out to enjoy.
Cool. Yeah, man. Yeah, I haven't watched. I mean, probably Gran Turismo was probably the last movie that I watched that was racing related.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be really, really into those. Did you ever watch Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman? It's NASCAR.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, so that one was like when NASCAR was going like big, kind of like what F1 is now, right?
Right.
Where it's like like game like being really mainstream, right? It's like back in the day, right, when you followed like Senna and Schumacher and all these guys that did F1. Um, they it was still not like super popular. I remember watching it and in passing. I know that right now, like now, is very very popular. It's very exciting. I just don't have the time to like sit down and watch a race, and they're fun because I mean I used to watch them, but when I saw that this movie was coming out, I just remembered about Days of Thunder, a movie that no one talks about. It was with Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, and Yandu. Michael Roker, right? Is that his act?
Yeah, Michael Rooker, yeah.
Michael Roker. So yeah, it was a good movie. I mean, it was fun. So
Nice.
cool. Well, I may check it out.
I would say
that's cool.
if you're going to the theaters, you should watch the movie in IMAX. It was filmed in IMAX. That's cool. But if you're not going to be able to see it, just wait for it at home. You'll be fine. It'll be on Apple TV before you know it, because Apple TV or Apple Productions was the one that kind of put it out. The Apple Studios.
Right. Yeah. Cool. All right, man. It came in, the one for the Saturn. It's a little bit yellow though.
Okay.
Yeah, Virtua Stick, from Japan. It's I cleaned it out today. It had a little bit of funk. It's been I don't want to say it's well used. It was well loved, because you can tell that it was well loved.
Yeah.
I tried to change the spring. I changed the spring on the Dreamcast one. Unfortunately, the springs that I bought were too big for it. But I remember that I had a box of parts when I modded my other two fight sticks, and I found a spring that fit perfectly. So that one's like all set now. This one's clean. It's yellowed out a little bit. I may put it out in the sun for a little bit, just cover the artwork and the buttons and put it out in the sun, see if it clears up a little bit, because I don't want to. I mean, I could take it apart, the whole thing, and just put the frame out and use hydrogen peroxide, but I don't know. It works good. I played X-Men vs. Street Fighter on it yesterday. Went through the whole thing, and I was like, hey, it works. It's a little loose. So that's why I wanted to change the springs, man. I don't know why they put this like super flimsy springs on them. But this one, unfortunately, I didn't get. This one doesn't have a Famitsu stick. It has an ASCII stick, so I cannot change that spring. The spring's terrible. But it works. Like I tested it yesterday. I was like, that's cool. Other than that, I watched and I was pleasantly surprised that I actually liked it quite a bit. Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah. That's that.
Yeah.
Our friend Altava Vorda, he said the same thing.
Yeah.
Like it's just not compared to other Captain America movies.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
On its own, it's fine.
It's not great. Yeah. Yeah. On its own, it's yeah. I mean, there's no. Like it's very interesting watching the movie now after like a bunch of stuff that's going on. Like
Sure. Yeah.
in my head.
Yeah, I know the timing is
So
crazy.
the timing is crazy, right? And in my head, I can only think it's like I bet if he watches this movie, he wants to be the Hulk, the Red Hulk.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
This is ridiculous. It's like I want that. You're gone. You're gone. He's gone. Joel's gone. So, the only thing that I found that I mean, not the only thing, right? But the like the fight between them, between Cap and Hulk. I mean, clearly this is not the Hulk, right? It's a Hulk, but not the Hulk. Because you could tell, yeah. I mean, you needed the freaking Hulkbuster in Age of Ultron, right? It's like this is not the Hulk. This is a Hulk.
Right.
Still, I mean, he still does damage and whatnot. It's cool. I mean, it's cool how they played it out. It's like, oh, when I saw the thing with the pills, it's like, oh, I bet the pills is what's causing it. And I just feel like the villain was underdeveloped. Like there was like no real motive. Like the motive was like, he treated me badly. I'm not telling him.
Right.
I'm gonna make it strong. It's like, okay, what? But but Cap was good. Falcon was good. Like their chemistry was good. The whole thing with Isaiah was pretty good. Like putting it back. So I had to give my wife a quick crash course because she didn't watch
Sure.
Falcon Winter Soldier. So I was like, oh yeah. So just so you know, this guy is here. This right. So I had to give her a little update. I don't think she's watched anything Marvel since No Way Home, probably. So
Makes sense.
it's been
Shang-Chi.
Oh no, we watched Eternals. She watched Eternals. Oh, did she fall asleep? She may have fallen asleep. Yeah.
That's understandable. I'm with her. I respect that.
But no, overall it was fine. Like it wasn't offensive. It wasn't terrible. Again, it's unfortunate that you can tell that this movie suffered from the same thing that the show suffered from. You can tell that it's like, oh, we got to rework a bunch of stuff here and let's see if it works, right? So you can tell that they have to go back and redo some things. Again, shout out to Harrison Ford's shoulders for carrying this movie. For carrying this movie.
Harrison Ford is so like he doesn't phone it in. Like
No,
he really
man.
commits.
Right. Yeah.
He really-
I was like,
what a
I was
guy.
thinking the other day, I was like, who's like the worst actor? But, and I don't mean like Tommy was Tommy was so bad, right? I was like, who's the worst actor? The worst actor that's like up here that everyone's like, oh, this movie. And it's like, cause after I watched, after I watched the movie, right? I was like, oh man, Harrison Ford was actually pretty good in the movie. It's like, he's always good in everything, right? Consistent. He's consistent. Like either the script can be trash and he'll make it happen. But I started going back. It's like, oh man, who's like the worst actor? And then I saw a commercial for Superman come up. It's like, it's Marlon Brando is the worst actor ever. He's always phoning it in, forgetting his lines, doing this stupid accent. It's like, and Marlon Brando, you heard me here. Hate me, hate me all you want. Marlon Brando is the worst actor ever. An Oscar winner. I don't care. No.
There's a few people I know what you're talking about. That's
Like, even in The Godfather, like his
Yeah.
best scenes is the scenes that he's not talking. Like he's sitting down and looking around the room. Those are his best scenes. Like, don't give him lines. Like The Island of Dr. Moreau. I would turn me into a mutant after watching that movie.
Oh my
It was terrible. Yeah.
Jeez.
Don Juan with Johnny Depp. My wife loves that movie, and we have it on DVD. I think that was his last movie before he passed, Marlon Brando.
Wow.
And at least he has some charm. So here's the thing, right? In that movie, I don't know if it was it's he probably felt like he was going to be freed from the shackles of existence, and he was actually enjoyable in that movie. and but he is insufferable in everything else, even in like Superman, like the OG Supermans and Superman Returns, where he's a CG Jor-El there. But yeah, it was hilarious. I was just thinking about it. I was like, what the heck? Mark Reynolds sucks. Oh man. So yeah, that's what's up on my end. I know that Thunderbolts is out. It came out today, I think, on Disney Plus. I'm hoping to.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I'm hoping to check that out over the weekend. So,
Dude, I'm gonna watch that again. You kidding
so we
me?
shall see.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Joe. What is happening, dude? All right, let's get the non news first. I guess
Yeah.
Neil Druckmann is too busy and he's no longer able to be involved with the Last of Us show. So he is out of the planning for season 3 and going back and focusing on game development. So for what it's worth, I don't. Yeah, sure. Go back to making games, which is what you're good at. oh,
Dang.
no! The first season was
Wow.
great. The first season of The Last of Us was great, and I know that I think overall the first season of The Last of Us fantastic show. Season 2, I've seen the memes. I'm good.
Yeah, but also like Obed, let's be real. If it's anything close to what The Last of Us 2 as a game was, even like a lot of that game was very divisive. Like there's some people who hate The Last of Us 2 the game.
Yep.
I knew it was like if you do some of the same stuff with major characters, stuff like that. They obviously do. It's like, well, of course people aren't gonna like this. Like people didn't like the game for this. They're not gonna like the show for this either. So it's like I expected it not to do very well, just purely based on even just the narrative. If you're following the same pattern, which they can't have to, right? Like if you do something completely different, people are gonna call you out for it. They were in a lose-lose situation with that. Like there's no way.
Yeah, it was a lose for season 2.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, because we all knew, right? But then, I think the people that were interested in the show quickly lost interest, and it's unfortunate because there's a good story there, but yeah, I'll get to season 2 when I get to it. I'm not in a hurry to go ahead and finish that, but
Sure.
yeah, he's going back to work on Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, and that is no date on that yet. I mean they may shoot for next year, but we shall see. But it is what it is. None news compared to the bombshells that we've gotten today, because we said was it last week or the week before? I think it was the week that we're doing the stream, the Marvel stream, that there's a rumor that there's major layoffs coming into Xbox or Microsoft as a whole, right? And they happened. So around 9,000 people are gone. A lot of Xbox people, some studios closed. A lot of Call of Duty people are out. And this is I guess a developing news. There's still like not enough information. Not all the details are out there. There's still details coming out. People are mad internally and externally, from what I can gather. And I personally know 2 people that were affected by the previous layoffs. People that I worked with, right? That are so. It's rough. It's rough for sure, and unfortunate. But I told you guys, like when the Activision thing went through, it's like, man, Xbox is gonna let everyone go and keep the Activision people, or the other way around. And it looks like it's a combination of all, right? There's a lot of people from King that are being let go, studios shuttered, games canceled. Like they canceled at least two major games, and some other ones may not even, come out. But all right, well let's start. So that was the beginning. The way, and again, this is why, guys, like this corporate guys, they're not your friends, right? And
Yeah.
the Phil Spencer email that got out there was, basically said, "Hey guys, like we're sorry, we're gonna have to can you, but Xbox is the best it's ever been." So it is. Oof. Like I don't know, man. That is rough, man. And I understand that you got to put, front to the shareholders, but that's why you have shareholder meetings. You don't tell your people it's been the best ever. Unfortunately, you have to go. That is like you don't no, especially like this, like a lot of people have feel like, oh, Phil's like one of us, right? He's one of the guys. He comes out to the events and does the thing. No, these guys are not your friends. We've been telling you for a while now.
Oh.
And
The community better off with moving in the other direction.
yeah, and I think, and even Phil, I think, I don't, you know what? And to Phil's credit, since like the big round of layoffs that happened, what, last year, the year before, maybe. Since then, oh, it was last year. Since then, he's been out and about with the fans less than he used to. So
Yeah.
there's clearly a, hey, we kind of need to take a step back and not be as, out there with fans and the community, because if things go south, right, that could create sour their images, and
Yeah.
that should have been the case from the beginning. That's why, Sony, when they noticed that Shuhei was out there too much, they wrangled him back, and I was like, hey, where's Shuhei? It's like, we love Shuhei. It's like, yeah, I'm working. you know it's
Right.
it's what you got to do. But man, like I mean, I feel terrible. It's been a rough 3 years for the industry, and yeah, I mean, we'll go into discussion here, but yeah, games canceled. The Perfect Art reboot, one of the games that was going to save Xbox, canceled. Rare, the game by Everwild, that was their game, that's canceled. Studio, the entire studio that was working on Perfect Dark is shutting down, and that's the studio that was founded in Santa Monica with like some of the Santa Monica guys that Sony that left, and some of the not Ubisoft but Crystal Dynamics guys that went down. Like, man, like a new studio, no games, shut it. Rare. Rare has, like, other than Sea of Thieves, they really haven't done anything in the last 10 years. I don't know what to think about the other things that they didn't talk about, like Fable and the Blade game that they announced, that they just showed the title. They didn't do anything else. Like, is that game even gonna come out? They canceled an I guess unannounced Disney IP game, which we could assume was a Marvel game. I don't think it was a Star Wars game, but I mean, we can assume it was a Marvel game. There was another Marvel game got canceled recently. I think a Black Panther game. I think the studio closed. I can't remember the name of it. Not related to Xbox, but like Wonder Woman got canceled. That studio got closed too. It's rough, man. Like we're having a rough time here, man. But before we go into more details about Phil in our discussion, what do you think, dude?
This is terrible. You predicted a lot of this, so that's why just standing back and hearing your remarks on what it is and the ripple effects, because it's like, on the consumer side, you're going to be affected now with products that may never come out, or if they do still are in the works, there's no way that some of these things are going to stay on time. They're going to be extra delayed. Like if there is some of these that stay on task. Like when you start trimming staff to this extent all around the business, like there's gonna be a huge change in just overall production and productivity. And they had to know that. Like maybe there's certain games that they just didn't have faith in. Like it's not the amount of money that we're putting into these games. We know we're not going to make a return on it. So like we need to cut the games, and by cutting the games, therefore we cut the staffing. It may not be necessarily as much of like cutting staffing as it's cutting games that then in a result start cutting staffing. Like there's levels of the business with that. We'll get into the full stuff in a second, but I don't know if you saw the Halo Studios like tension in the office, that thing that was going around too.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy. Like I just wanted to just read off like some of the statements. Like, some like privately, some people that work at Halo Studio said, "I'm personally super pissed that Phil's email to us bragged about how this was the most profitable year ever for Xbox in the same breath as pulling the lever on the layoffs." I wasn't sure what part of that I was supposed to be proud of. I don't think anybody's really happy about the quality of the product right now. There's been a lot of tension and pep talks to try and rally folks to ship. And this is just people making it clear, like, Xbox in general feels you're behind the curves in game development, and it leads a lot of wasted time and effort, the employee said. At the same time, multiple departing team members have spoken warmly about their time at Halo, but these specific employees are making very clear about, like, they think in general there's more trouble for those. These are people who are still there at Halo Studios, that are in other parts of the Xbox company, that's just simply saying, like, we know there's issues. They're behind the curve in the industry. People are losing motivation.
Yeah.
Spencer's out of touch with his actual staffing by saying, like, we just made all this money, but unfortunately we can't afford to keep these jobs around. Like, that ain't it. So they're even if you keep staffing, I think there's gonna be a lot of people who are jumping ship too, just internally as well. You'd rather people leave of their own accord than have their jobs taken from them. For those people, I have a lot of remorse, and I hope that they're able to get back on their feet just fine, and that things work out well for them, and it will. And we're with you, supporting and hoping the best for you. But it's easy for us to sit here and just talk about where this affects people's real lives. We're just talking about this on a podcast, but really, really earth-shattering stuff of when you have to this effect, it just being spread across multiple different divisions, games being canceled, people really losing their jobs.
Yeah, I was looking for the article. There was an article earlier, I think it was late last week or earlier this week. There was one of the a lady that used to be in the original Xbox team back when the OG Xbox came out. And she said something like, there's like no, like they clearly have no direction. They have no interest in like the brand anymore.
Yeah.
And you know what it'll become a service like everything else at Microsoft. And the big question here to me, right? Because they said, yeah, profits are up, sales are down. Sales are way down based on what's out there.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen if this is a big if, right? And I'm talking hypotheticals here, because I don't count the handheld as a full blown Xbox. That's it's a Windows device that has Xbox branding and an Xbox app that runs natively on it. But the next machine that they're working on, that they talked about a couple weeks ago, if the rumors are true and that machine has Steam on it, why would someone pay for Xbox services when they can just buy the box and use their own Steam library and not have to pay for online games and not have to pay for Game Pass? It's like, oh, I bring my Steam stuff and I just use this box because it's super convenient, right? Then they're gonna sell the box, but how's that revenue generation is gonna keep going after the fact? After you buy the box, now what, right? And that's why you when you buy a car, your dealership is like, oh yeah, bring it in for maintenance, of course, because well, like that's their thing, right? And it's like that with most everything that you buy nowadays. But what happens if they do put Steam on their next Xbox and there's no reason for anyone to even interact with what Xbox is bringing when they have their own Steam library, that they don't have to pay for online games, that they don't have to, they can bring their own library of games. I mean, the only way would be Xbox to paywall it, and it's like in order to use Steam, you must have Game Pass. That would be it, right? That would be the only. I mean, if knowing Microsoft, that's probably gonna be the thing, right? Yeah, we're gonna get an Xbox and we're gonna have Steam on it, but then you're gonna have to pay your $17.99 or whatever a month for Game Pass. It's still the same. It's still the same. I don't know, man, but there were some rumors like earlier today that Phil is looking to retire and Sarah Bond is going to take over. Then The Verge posted an article saying no, Phil's not going anywhere, right? I'm like right now, I know fans already lost faith on Phil. Like they don't trust him anymore, right?
Yeah.
They can come out and say we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Fans are going to be, yeah, sure, whatever, right? And I know that PlayStation's had a rough, the Jim Ryan era of PlayStation was rough. It's equivalent to the Bob Chapek era of Disney. It was it's not great. It's not great. You see this and into the Don Matrick era of Xbox, where like Kinect and all this push and Xbox One and all this stuff, right? Like they all go through this, through these phases. The Bernie Stoller era of Sega, right? Sega of America after Tom Kalinske. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, what do they have left? Like, if they don't have. Like, even if they don't put games out there, good faith is what Phil had with the fan base. What's left, Joel?
Right.
What's left?
Right. And that's what's dangerous is like you burn so many bridges. With this whole, just the premise and how they had this, obviously Microsoft have to step out and say, no, like we're putting, as our PR team, the shutdown to the rumors that Phil's leaving. I don't know, man. I think where there's smoke, there's fire. And they put that out there because they just don't want that to be the headline. Like Xbox already is having a lot of negative press around people losing their jobs. So then when you have like a news term like this, they're trying to control the narrative is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like you and I know a little bit about marketing and PR and these kinds of things. So like this is damage control, but that doesn't make the damage control doesn't make it that it's not a possibility and that's not going to happen. There's just not a certainty at this moment. Like this probably this decision between him for retiring would be a personal decision. Him leaving his job would be something maybe from the board. Maybe a board member leaked this, someone with influence to say like, hey, we're trying to convince him you need to go before we make you. Like there's probably bigger things going on here. Stuff like this doesn't just get out there in the media from just a random person doing it. I think there's something here, Obed. I really do.
Yeah. there's a really good post on r/games right now. It's like, it's like, has Xbox considered laying off one person one person off instead of thousands?
Wow.
That's a picture of Phil.
I mean, we know the guy. Yeah. Yeah. They're not.
Yeah.
They had a point.
Yeah, man. I mean, what's left? Like at this point, right? Hey, the Halo team's in trouble. Gears is on PlayStation. Forza's on PlayStation. What do they have? They don't. The Xbox is Halo, Gears, Forza, and the Activision Blizzard properties and the Bethesda properties. I think out of everything, the Bethesda properties are the best they have right now. Yeah, man. That's
But
stuff.
you got to look at you got to look at their competitors too, and like that doesn't help. Like if they had room for error and they could bounce back, but like they're on an a battle right now because it's
Oh,
like
they're
Switch
done.
2
Yeah.
is doing great. Like that's gonna just keep thriving.
Yeah.
PlayStation has a situation right now where like even in their darkest of times in recent days has not been nearly as dark as what you're seeing
No,
on the other side.
not at all.
Like it's a blip.
On the
So like
contrary,
this is yeah.
I've seen people out there saying, "Hey, like I put off buying a PS5 and I'm still on my PS4, but my PS4 is
Yeah.
starting to get, chuggy and there's not many games coming out anymore and whatnot. So I'm gonna go get a PS5 now, right?" And yeah,
Yeah.
and Nintendo's out here just just fanning themselves with $100 bills, and it's like they're doing the thing. Do you see
Yeah.
5.4 million Switch 2 sold? I think in
No.
since it came out, it's crazy,
Wow.
man.
I believe it. I believe it, dude.
Yeah, yeah. It
They're
was like
thriving.
the first week was like 3.5 or something. It was big. I think it's big. Yeah, it is clear. It is for sure the biggest launch ever. It's good for them, right? They only
Good
have
for
one.
them.
They only have
Absolutely.
one game. one. I mean, they have the third party stuff, but I know like there's a lot of like, and I get it. Like a lot of they cut a lot of flack for the game key cards like Street Fighter, where the game it's empty. The key card, the game card is empty. You put it in and it downloads the game. That's what Xbox has been doing for years. You just put the disc in and it
Yeah.
downloads your stuff. So it's nothing new, right? So it's just like. It's like, don't come on, guys. It's like people complaining about key cards are the same people that have gaming PCs and buy everything from Steam, and then you don't have anything
Ooh.
anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't
So
matter.
yeah, you
Doesn't
at
matter.
least have a box, right? It's like, come on,
Right.
and you can sell it if you get bored. You can still sell the key card, and someone else can use it. So whatever. Um, but what do they have? That's the thing. What do they have? And they can release
Right.
this new console, but again, if they're going to if the console's gonna have Steam out of the box, Microsoft's not gonna like, hey, let's just allow it, right? And I mean, they could. Who knows, right? Who knows? Because they're mentioning Windows 11. That I think the next Xbox is going to be a Windows device, and you know, if it has Steam, it has Steam. But then what? That's the thing, right? Then what? Like you bring your Steam library, you got your box that you can plug into your TV, and you're not gonna sign up for Game Pass. I mean, you could, but you can still buy your stuff on Steam. It doesn't matter. Yeah, man. That's gonna be it. I think that's gonna be it. Like I said, it's gonna be one more. They're gonna do this next one, but then at this point, they're a publisher. They're a publisher, and again, this is not even remotely close to what the Sega scenario, because like again, we're talking about like Sega was they owed everyone money, and Microsoft doesn't owe anyone. They have mountains of cash, and they're not in trouble. They got capital. There's not even remotely close to what that was. But what we'll see is that the era of like Xbox creating new and exciting stuff, which has been hit and miss for the last 13 years. It's probably gonna be no more. It's gonna be a Call of Duty machine now, and
Wow.
it's unfortunate that they did this to themselves, and
Right. Right.
they mismanaged their studios. They didn't innovate, and they just kept following trends and focus groups and all this stuff instead of just creating new and innovative experiences. I know that they tried at the beginning of the Xbox One era with like Stuff like Quantum Break was interesting, right? That wasn't them, but they took a chance on a potential franchise that was doing something different. But then what? We didn't get anything else, and then everyone else was like, "Oh, wait for Scalebound." Phil canceled Scalebound, and then everyone was like, "Oh, wait for Crackdown." Or wait for Crackdown. Remember the Crackdown days?
Yeah. We had a long running prediction on the show.
We were there, man.
Save you.
Crackdown was gonna come out. It was gonna flop, and it flopped hard, and that's been it, right? So, I still think that the Xbox Series X is a compelling device, and at the original price point, the Series S was too. Now it's not worth it. Like the Series S is not worth the price. I might as well just buy a PS5 at that point. In the Series X with the price increase, I don't know, man. It's just like, putting all things considered, even if you're in a if you're a gamer on a budget, you can still sign up for the PlayStation Premium and get an equivalent experience to Game Pass. I'm not saying it's gonna be day one games because you don't do that. but you have a fairly robust library that you can choose from. So, man, it's crazy, right? And I'm saying this as a PlayStation guy. Like, I always wanted them to just keep going head to head because competition makes everyone better. And I don't know, man. I'm conflicted. So
you're conflicted because you care about the gaming community as a whole.
Yeah,
it'd be great to talk about them in a more positive light, but scary to see.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's gonna be. I don't know how I feel, man. I don't know how I feel. I know that there was the oh man, I forgot his name. That's back at Sega. Hold on one second.
Fact checking live.
Fact checking live.
We don't just come up with random things. We actually do our research, sometimes even live. Hope it's not on ChatGPT. He's on the internet.
Hold on.
Man, what a thing. We did not. I was hoping that we wouldn't have to have another Xbox. What are you doing? But here we are.
Yeah, man. It's a big it's a big fail, dude. I forgot his name, but it's the guy that was one of the guys that was in charge of the Dreamcast launch. Had left Sega and he returned this week. Like he was at Sony when the PS1 launched. Then he went to Sega, launched the Dreamcast, and then he left. I don't know where he was. And then this past week he returned to Sega. So I was like, is Sega going to release another console?
Right.
I don't know, dude. They got the properties now. They got the properties and they got the money now. They've been better. Right. They have more money than back from than they had back from the Genesis days.
Right.
So I mean, dude, I said it. Do you remember that I said it? Was like if Xbox it releases a Sega branded Xbox, I'll get one. I said it, man. But
just stand by it.
I stand by it, and I mean, there's definitely an opportunity there. Like why not? You can just make a PC like hardware like what we have now and open it to everyone and do your thing.
Guys, Obed's throwing them a bone for free. Like,
I'm tired of throwing Sega and Disney and all these people bones for free, man.
For free, man. That's a free one.
Like, how many times have I said to like do Sonic instead of Rock and Roller Coaster? You can still do that, Disney. You can still put Sonic the Hedgehog and Rock and Roller Coaster, and you should close the Hall of Presidents and make the Muppets do a Muppets like show there or Muppet Vision 3D. Yeah. I don't care. Just like let's get with the times. I know and I appreciate American history, but given the times, you should make something a little bit more entertaining for everyone and not polarizing, which it shouldn't have to be polarizing. But hey, you know what? People made it, but that should have been your opportunity. Muppets show, Muppet Vision 3D, move it to Hall Presidents, and then give us Sonic. Give us the Sonic roller coaster, you cowards. You still have time to put Sonic at the Play Pavilion at Epcot. But if you wouldn't have spent $100 million on that planter, you could have had done that. But no one listens to me, man. Seriously. No, we those affected, we definitely wish them the best, and it's rough. Like right now, the industry is in a there's a paradigm shift. It's going to be really hard for a lot of people to land on their feet.
Sure,
a lot of people may have to, choose a career change or do something else. And, it is unfortunate. So we definitely wish them the best. Other than that, sir, is there how's Superman doing with impressions?
Yeah, so far, I've only seen one major negative review. Everything else seems to be very positive. At least the reactions to it seem to be positive. But they are gonna have next week, I think it is, the Amazon Prime early screenings. I think it's like on the 8th or something like that. Before, like a few days before. I will be seeing it on the Friday, the day after. So I'll be seeing it next week, Friday. So I will let you guys know what I think about it on not next week, but the episode the following week. But I mean, we are right there. Like that movie, DC is betting, Warner, DC, they're betting big on this. They need this to be a success. It's been a long time, so reviews are so far positive. I've only seen one negative, like I said. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see. Quick update: confirmed that the Call of Duty and Forza teams are impacted too. So,
unfortunately,
yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah,
it's rough.
Absolutely.
We shall see, sir. We are going to Tampa Bay Comic Book Convention this August, so we'll be there that Saturday, August 2nd. And if you see us around and you're in the area, say hi.
Yeah, thank you to the convention team at Tampa Bay Comic Convention. You guys have been always very generous to us. We really want to say thank you for allowing us to come out and cover it yet again. Looking forward to it for sure. And like Obed said, if you guys see us out there, don't be afraid to say hello. Don't just run and charge us.
Tackle us
and be friendly. We're friendly people. We'll have a good conversation with you guys. But
Joel's still available, just in case you.
All right, all right. This guy.
Gotta do it, man. Gotta look out for my homie.
But yeah, we'll be there Saturday. We'll be there on that Saturday. Really looking forward to it. I gotta start planning out, what things we want to go out and watch. But we'll be there covering, and we'll do a nice vlog while we're out there too. So, stay tuned to the channel for more coverage. And they're not paying us to tell you to go buy tickets, but hey, like I can speak honestly and say, like, it's a good time if you want to go to a convention that is very just very chill, very, very, very not chaotic compared to like some of the bigger ones out there. This is the one to go to. Like, it's just a nice, great time just to hang out. It does something good for the soul when you're around just everyone's just fans of these things and just hanging out together. It's like Disney for adults. It's always a good time.
Yeah, cool, man. And next month is gonna be a little bit hectic. So what are we doing? What's our schedule? When are you going to Comic-Con?
I will have to talk to you off air about it, but we shall see. TBD. TBD, because it's getting close right to it. But I will say though, what I can confirm is I will be at also Florida SuperCon, and that's going to be coming up. I will be out there, um, on the 18th and 19th. I'll be out there, and the 20th. Those days I'll be out there, in South Beach, Florida. So, if you guys are also at Florida SuperCon, feel free to say hello. Be out there in Miami covering that convention. That's a really fun one. Um, I know John Boyega's going to be out there. That will be interesting. I think Jeremy Renner's supposed to be out there, one of his
Oh, wow.
first convention appearances since the injury.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting to see as well. There's some other big ones that are planning to be out there. So looking forward to that one as well.
Cool.
But yeah, that's where we're at, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's wrap it up.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for staying here and watching our show with us. We ask you to please stay tuned, stay subscribed. We're on podcast platforms of your choice, places like SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon Music. Find us, subscribe to us. We'd really appreciate it. You can also subscribe to the video version, No Load Time, on YouTube. That's No Load Time on YouTube. You can subscribe, like the videos, drop a comment, all that good stuff that YouTubers always say that really helps support our show. And of course, you can follow us on social media. If you're watching the video version, you'll see the handles down below at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time. You also can support our show financially if you have the means to. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/no load time. We're on Patreon. You could support as low as $1 a month. The show, literally $1 a month, and that helps cover some of the expenses that we pay out of pocket to have this show on the air. Of course, if you are also would like to send in a question, comment, you could do that in the comment section here. You can send an email, noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com, and maybe we'll even talk about what you send in on a future episode. Shout out to producer Tony. Thank you for supporting our show. Everyone, thank you for being with us, and we look forward to being with you next time.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe. We will see you again next time.